Welcome to Corked Stats.
Corked Stats.
From Wall Street to Main Street to 161st Street, where profit meets baseball, fantasy, betting, and game theory.
All right, you were just watching me pick my nose or something because I didn't have my intro video on. Surprise! Well, good thing I wasn't doing anything incriminating, right? What's up, yo? Fastest freaking show in MLB. Absolutely anything. Oh, with you, boy. I'm like, yo, I'm going to drink my coffee and I don't hear that stupid, music playing and oh, shit. What's going on? All right, let's re-rack it. Back on track it, the poet, you didn't know it. And it's your favorite host, fastest freaking show in MLB. What's up, everybody? Couple of the usual suspects hanging out in the chat. Jason, what's going on? Carolina Daddy, and 12345647130. Yeah, I had a bad day yesterday. And that really sucked because of the way it went down. We felt very strongly about the Cleveland over. That was, it didn't soar over. Got there safely. Texas had the pitching change. Now, I am what you call an honest and fair person. And where I played, they don't void anymore. There's no voiding. So we wanted Evaldi, right? And he ended up not pitching. Now, hard to complain because the Rangers didn't fucking score, right? So it doesn't really matter. Then we Lambert. He got touched early. Astros shit the bed with men on base. Lambert ended up being good, going 7, give up 3. He was very good. They ended up losing. We like the Giants. They get ahead, shit the bed with men on, cough up the runs, lose our F5, come back and win the plus fucking 160. Ugh. So, there it is. You can have a lot of good calls, and the execution is off, and a little bit of bad luck, and all of a sudden, black ink turns to red ink. Enough of that shit. More of this. It's the best part of waking up. Pitching sheets in the mug, everybody. I just want to confirm, I know we got a full slate. I saw somebody mention, I know we got 30 teams going. Okay, and everybody is at night. Really love these. Get our sink our teeth into it. It also leaves me a little bit of time in the afternoon. If you didn't see, I did the first NFL best ball draft. Man, underdog moved to 20 seconds. I think it's lightning. So just check it out. It's on all the same streams. Just start at the top. Start with a sculpting. You start with the big tools. You work your way down to the little ones. Again, remember, those ranks are out included with all the best ball stuff, but we have no time to lose. Let's get right into it. I think I'm going to try and board read and work backwards. All of you subs had to have noticed, right? One, we have a lot of scoring, but so does the board, right? So that's not on me. I've never, ever had this many home runs in a certain day. I've never had so many home runs. B-Rose, what's going on? Carolina Daddy had a good day. Good for you people. That's what I like to see, regardless of how I do. Now, I did want to point out, again, I really F DraftKings. I really could give a shit less about them. But they're running that Grand Slam promotion, where if you have $5 on a player to hit a home run, and they hit a Grand Slam, you're getting a chunk of is it $500,000 or $750,000? So if you just calculate the, whatever, a guy has a 30% chance to hit a home run or a 25% chance to hit a home run, and that has I don't know, what's a Grand Slam? A 25-1 chance of that home run being a home run. The payout is still pretty fucking crazy. You know what I mean? The payout is pretty crazy. So lots of home runs. You can see a couple of them hanging out on the board there. Trout, Pladeg, got Lowe, and Vientos. I just couldn't help it. There's a ton of wind, which is what was pushing all the numbers. We also have a lot of pitchers that give up pulled fly balls, and, that's how that fucking goes. So I don't know what the hell that was. I was trying to cover up me fucking slurping liquid that I didn't get down before. All right, so let's get into it. I'm going to try and be fast as can be. I'm going back to the timer. Warbert Urania on the bump for the Angels. They're on the road against Cleveland and Slade Ciccone. Both of these guys really up and down. I don't think I believe either one of them. I was trying not to do too many stats. We can see all the underpinning stuff. Ciccone's expected ERA north of 5.5. Warbert Sierra is north of 5. Again, these guys both walk too much, not enough command, not enough Ks, and a lot of contact, especially on Ciccone's side. Urania at least has kept it down, so he's going to be a victim to BABIP at all times. He's like a Jose Soriano light. So let's look at righties. Remember, righties 2 weeks, lefties 30 days. Year-to-date L7 kind of all together if we don't clarify. Angel striking out a ton hasn't really been Ciccone's game. guards have the discipline without the power. They've been pulling it, and it'll be interesting to see if they can turn those ground balls into line drives. I think that's going to be the difference maker. But either way, I think all the balls in play, and maybe 2 bullpens, I don't trust that much. I guess I trust Cleveland more than Angels objectively, but I don't love either one of them. Angels set at 3.5. That feels a little bit low for the 4 1/3. I think I'm over the total. This one feels like a 4 + 4 = 9. I've got them both at 4.3 or more. Also, like I said, I got, Trout for a dong and DeLorder for those hit and run ribbies. He's a walking 2 hit and run ribby guy. Even though I do think Cleveland wins, I wouldn't even pay the -135. I'm a little bit closer to even on this one. Not sure I'd recommend the trigger on the Angels full game because the bullpen sucks so bad. Angels at 5, I think, is live at plus money, but I think I like the overs in this one more than anything. Next up, Willie Warren on the bump for the New York Yankees. They're on the road in B-More to face Trevor Rogers and the Orioles. They're plus 140 dogs on the road. Orioles have the bullpen emoji quick look. Rico Garcia back-to-back. Nunez back-to-back. Ends 2 of 3. So the only redeeming parts of that bad Baltimore pen have struggled. The Yankees did not really get to Young yesterday. I saw some vomit emojis in the chat. I know Yankees really let us down. It wasn't everybody thought they were going to get to Young in the bullpen. They ended up pulling it out of their ass. Cody Bellinger sold me out on the hit run ribby, man. So Warren's been really good, like a lot better than expected. I think with the strong underpinning stuff, it's becoming more believable every time, right? When you get command and you get control, the lack of chasing always kind of threw me off, but he's keeping it down and getting strikeouts. He's been a really tough customer. Rogers is on the return. Be careful backing him, right, with the delayed rest. If anybody hadn't noticed, I shifted the pitching sheets over from last year. Now we're moving into split stuff this year. So we've got home and road splits and then last 30 splits, just to give you an idea of that trajectory. You just have an idea of where the beat is. If a guy had been really bad, where it's going to go. Warren, I don't know. Again, I keep thinking the wheels are going to fall off, but you go out there and he's shoving. I think he throws the 4-seamer too often, but it's a very good pitch. Yankees offense is very good. I do think they're going to, get up off the mat. Oh, yes! But timing this offense, after such a strong run, can start to feel shaky even with the quality of the bats. Again, they're swing and miss a lot. They're losing in zone. The average isn't great. You're relying on the power. That part we kind of know. Baltimore v. lefties has been up and down. More of a sellout thing than anything. But the good stuff. Sellout plus. Low chase, high fly ball, good hard hit rates, lots of home runs. Sorry, I flipped that, didn't I? Because I'm an idiot. Yankees v. lefties, strong split. They're awesome anyway. That doesn't, all the same stuff really applies. Fucking idiot I am. Let's see what the sip of coffee matters. Orioles v. righties. They had been ticking up. They're ticking down. That was a part. Needed to make sure that we get that clear. So even for my L's, as long as, we get it corrected, I feel okay with it. Leave with my head hanging high. That's why pencils have erasers. So Baltimore v. righties in the rough split, and they're striking out. They're putting the ball on the ground. They've had trouble with power. That's been all the places that Warren succeeded. This feels like a really strong matchup again for the Yanks. We're going to step on the rake. I don't know. Turn off the lights and I'll glow. Yankees bullpen objectively better than Baltimore also. This one should be a pretty clean win. I mean, the going after Rogers is the part that feels a little fugazi and where I don't really want to pay for the run line. But yes, I really think the Yankees win. No, I'm probably not going to pay -170. And no, I doubt very highly I'm going to be paying +100 for a run line because Rogers is still a high potential guy. Watch him go out, get yoked, to get the B part of the bullpen. Yankees are going to win this one 9-1. Next up, Miles Michaelis on the bump for the Nats. They're on the road in Cincinnati to face Brady, the wedding singer, -150 for the home squad. I mean, this is like run scoring or nothing, obviously. Totals are at 5.5 and 9.5, probably with good reason. I wanted to check really quick. I remember to have the team totals up. I always just kind of look for a little bit of, I hate the word edge, because edge is actionable. Just like maybe a little weakness, right? Or a surprise in pricing. And I think you got that. Washington is 4.5 -115. Cincinnati is 5.5 +110. I've got Washington modeled for the same score as Cincinnati. I like that Washington team total, which means I really like the alt team total. Again, I got a ton of scoring. I've got the Blade home run with Michaelis is just always bound to get cracked. Like anytime he's bad, you expect it. Anytime he's good, you expect him to be bad after that. 7.44 ERA, 1.5 whip. For Michaelis, 5.6 ERA, 1.65 whip for Singer. These guys are not any good. 15% K, max on both sides. Both have a sub-9 swinging strike, a 90% zone contact or more, right? We're going to be in zone. We're going to get balls in play. Sorry, I thought I had weather up, and I don't. I knew I'd be referring to it. Give me just 1 second. Cincy, it's starting to get warm. Wind is blowing right to left, but this is a hitter's park with, again, the pulled fly ball guys. So this feels less to me about the offenses, though both of them kind of have a good matchup. The zone contacts are low, but these guys pitch to contact. The line drives are there. The hard hit rates are there. Barrels, Woba, XCon, all the stuff we're looking for, plus homers, at least on the red side, tons of doubles for the Nats. We know they like to run. So do you trust either bullpen? I don't. They're both ass. So again, this one is scoring. I don't really hardly ever go over freaking 10, over 9.5 to get to 10. I think this is going to close at 10. And in which case, like, we should want that. Sorry, I forgot to fill out the show picks. Let me just do that really quick. I had LA and Cleveland on the over. We have like Yankees with a win, and it's gross, too expensive. This one, man, if you like Nats to 5, then you'd only need 5 to get to 10. The Reds have the 5.5 line and get to face Miles Michaelis and the Nats pen. I'm going to just put game over. Let me just see that this bitch is still 9.5. Because if it's 9.5 baseline, I feel like I'm getting too cute splitting all this shit. I'm actually starting to see 10s pop up right now. So if you can't get a 10 at minus 120 or better, minus 118 or better, I would just lean into the 4.5 runs. On the Nat side, we're getting the 9 frames. So like that's the backup play. I always like to provide a little bit of that where I can. Next up, Michael Lorenzen on the bump for the Rocks. They're plus 273 dogs on the road down into Steel City to face Paulie Skeens, Captain Paulie Skeens, and the Buccos. Pirates minus 348 at home. Holy moly. The only thing I was interested in, and this is interesting, when you get these, like, I don't know even how you describe these, like, insane favorites, minus 300 on a fucking baseball game is nuts to me. Excuse me, my coffee's entirely too hot. Oh my God. Fuck. Anyway, oh my God. Damn thermoses working too good. Ouch, motherfucker. I'm tired right now. Fucking burnt myself. Shit. It's worth checking the price on these really heavy favorites to see how much the run line is going to cost you. And in this case, it's pretty tempting. What I mean is Pirates are minus 325. I'm looking at MGM. The run line is minus 140. So, that's what, 185 cents for the run? So it doesn't mean in these cases you run to bet the Pirates, right? I mean, I don't think you should ever be running to pay minus 140 for a run line. But that's where the value is. I'll go that far. Lorenzen's been just terrible. 6.9 ERA, 190 whip, and it's just as bad as that could be. It's funny because he has command and control, so like it's batting practice straight up. And Skeens has been phenomenal, best pitcher in the game. That was after that ridiculous blow up in the first game. These stats include that. I know his totals, right, the per game totals that we put up, the pitcher prop stuff, are all going to be a little bit low. 5.8 Ks, 15.8 outs, because that includes that first inning that was an inning. Look at the last 30, ridiculous. 1.2 ERA, 0.5 Sierra. In fact, shit, these are crossed. I'm a fucking idiot. This should say whip and this should say Sierra. That's correct. Sorry. If anybody knows, you obviously it makes sense. You're not gonna have a 2.24 whip on a 1.2 ERA half. Okay, so that's corrected. Anyway, man, I'm on fire right now, huh? Maybe that's from the introducing football kind of threw me off my game just a touch. All right, let's get back on track. But I think that's pretty much it. I've got the Pirates for 1.5 runs on the mean. Now the iffy point is if this plays out the way we think, that we're not going to get that 9th frame. But man, I'm just curious in the team totals myself. I mean, this would be another, not say red flag, but another kind of indicator. I need convincing to play run lines. Pirates have a 2-run disparity in their run line, and I call it fairly priced. Team totals are never at even. I call fairly priced 130 or better. Pirates are 4.5 minus 130. Rockies are 2.5 minus 105. So you're getting a 2-run disparity in baseline team totals. And I think that's a green light to go for the run line when you're getting that price on the extra runs. Kaboom. Rest in peace, my granny. Should get hit with a bazooka, baby. Let's go. And next up, Zach Wheeler on the bump for the Fighting Phils. He looks phenomenal out there. They're on the road against Brian Bellissimo and the Red Laundry, plus 119 at home. You'll notice Bayo is not listed, and I put TBD on the hitter sheet because Bayo is going to find himself out of the league or as a righty-only reliever soon. You just can't have these kind of splits against lefties. It's totally ridiculous. You know, it's completely unpalatable. Bayo versus lefties this season, they're batting .366 with an 1143 OPS. I mean, 45 ball, 52 pull, 7 homers, almost 4 home runs per 9. Oh, shit, Jeff, hold on one second. I'm going to get you in real time, brother. Hold on. That'll work for me, brother. I'm on. Okay, you're in, kiddo. I always try and look out for people. Paid subs got to come first, you know. Yeah, sorry, I had to move the NFL link to a new page and just restart. You only have to ask for access once. I know Jeff is good to go and auto-approve. If not, if it takes 5 minutes, it's because I just need to confirm the names on the paid sub list. You know, again, I have to curate all this fucking stuff on myself. So Bayo has just been gross. So, of course, if you're going to be that bad against lefties, we like Schwarber, we like Harper, but, right, that big ass. I don't think they're going to get those PAs that we're looking for, and they could still get it. Oh, I got you. You never apologize to me, Jeff. Somebody used to say to me, how about this if I ever get, like, again, I need a clipper. Save your sorries for bad intentions. Like, that could be a viral fucking YouTube clip. I'm over here working my fucking ass off, you know, me for hours and hours. Anyway, Jeff's got the both teams to score. Nats and Reds, A's and Cards, we didn't get that. Marlins and Twins, I'm going to try and keep that in mind. Brian E., what's going on, kid? So, I think the Phillies are going to win and all that shit. I think it's a fucking smash play and all that. Phillies offense has been improving. Boston offense fucking blows. The thing is, the Boston bullpen has been good. And if they're able to kind of match up against the back end of the Phillies bullpen, this could be a little bit of a disappointment. The minus 143 is right on the edge. It's tempting. Because, right, it's not outside the realm of where I'm like, oh, I don't pay that. But, like, this feels like a donkey pair. Yankees and Phillies, oh, talk, that is fucking bogus, yo. Oh, my God. That is bogus. Or, like, Phillies and Pirates run line. I hope people are unfollowing me for that. I really do. I deserve at least one unfollow, man. Holy crap. Underwater trade says in Japan, paid subs come first and women come second. Or sometimes not at all, baby. Do I make you horny, baby? Do I? Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Yo, that series is hilarious, first of all. I'm not sure anything makes me laugh more. When Michael Myers and Michael Caine are doing with the fembots in the bed and they're doing the English, you know, slang. Sat on a turtle. Oh my, that shit absolutely kills me, yo. Absolutely kills me. We all need to laugh more, yo. I mean, I love being funny. You got to be funny, but when people make me laugh, oh, that is just the shit. So Philly should get it done. I wouldn't really waste my time with Boston. I don't think it's like a sharp play. I wouldn't be looking for the Boston over. The more I look at this, the more I think Philly just kicks the absolute shit out of the Red Sox today. Somebody had tweeted it was free. Somebody, one of us, man, one of us. It might have been Jake. It might have been Sci Guy Jake, you know, the science guy. But yeah, it feels, the Phillies is a fucking smash play. Next up, Sugar Shane Mack on the bump for the Flat Fucking Fish of Florida. They're on the road north of the border to face the Bluebirds and Patrick Corbin. I mean, where are the runs coming from? I said this yesterday, and I know that was the game we wanted all the scoring, and I think there were errors up front. Shit spins out of control, and, you know, that's baseball, Susan. Like, what the fuck can you do? Sugar Shane has been very, very good. You know, he kind of picked up that trajectory we were hoping for. The walk rate's a little high for the ball rate. I try not to let that throw me off because he's been very good, and the Blue Jays offense has really kind of stunk. Corbin, you know, he's the how does he keep getting away with this award winner right now. 3.6 ERA, but a 6.2 expected. The 4.5 SIERA telling you some of the approach stuff is not terrible, right? You can see the ball rate, the walk rate, the first strike rate are okay. You know, he's been getting by on a pretty hefty left on base rate. the homer fly ball rate in check. He's kept it down somewhat. I mean, this is going to fall apart eventually. It is Patrick Corbin. However, the Rays split versus lefties is really bad. Just as sickening as it gets. 335 PAs for the flat fish versus southpaws. A 617 OPS, .067 ISO, 50% ground ball, 32 hard hit, 2% barrel. Two? Who buys two? Just two. Just atrocious. Like, could it be any worse? You know what's funny? This happens to me all the time. And it's actually, I confuse lefty righty Shane Baz and Shane McClanahan for some reason, right? We all have these kind of weird hiccups. If anybody has been following my work long enough, there was one point across like a 2-season span. It was, Tyler Alexander and Tyler Anderson. And I couldn't get them right. I was putting it wrong in the sheets and putting them on the wrong team. Just really, really crazy stuff. So, McClanahan, also a lefty. I gotten a couple lefty-righty things wrong lately, man. I got to sharpen my game. Jay's not much better versus lefties. The average is 214 across 265 PAs. Maybe you could take a peek full season if you wanted to open up that sample a little bit. I'll highlight it here. It's in the middle of the board if you're looking at the screen. Approach-wise is okay, but none of the stuff we're looking for as far as pop goes. Too patient for the lack of production to not hit for average or power, right? If you're going to be patient, you need production. So I'm going back to the under here. The bullpens have been good. I think they both kind of squirted the load yesterday. I was very surprised to see this total 8. I'm like firmly under the 8. Give me Tampa and Toronto, FG. U8. I guess you could also get me with the F5, but it would have to be 4.5. That's the only circumstance I'm going with that. Next up. Captain Jack Flaherty on the bump for the Tigres. Sorry, I let the scroll there. They're on the road out in Queens to face the Let's Go Mets Go. Freddie got fingered Peralta on the hill for the Metsies as minus 155 favorites at the crib. I'm a little bit worried about the Mets here. I do think they get it done, but I've got more scoring than anything, wind blowing out, which is a major concern with these two guys. There was a lot of all the home run things you could ask for. Listen, Peralta's been good. I'm not trying to trash on my fellow Mets fans here. You know what I mean? Although I'm not really a Met fan, I do kind of root for him because of my fellow New Yorkers. That was the word I was looking for. Peralta's been good. 54% usage with the pulled line drives and fly balls is not going to play. We also have been on Detroit all season versus fastball throwing righties. Yes, the last 2 weeks, this team has been donkey dick, 1,000%. Sometimes I think you want to zoom out a little bit. Again, it's the wind and the push and the overall kind of archetype here. Detroit v. righties on the season, all the pulled line drives with the barrels and the extra base hits we were looking for. It's not necessarily home runs, it is a lot of doubles, but those could turn into ding-dongs in the wins. And we were already worried about Flaherty, who's been terrible, a couple more starts like this, and I think he could be on his way to fucking Tuscaloosa or whoever their AAA fucking affiliate is. The offenses have not been great. I get it. This is where I'm getting the bounce back. I guess both bullpens have been pretty good. So maybe if you were going over, this is like one of the more rarer cases for a first 5 over. However, if the totals are 4 and 8, I'd rather go over the 8 for the slight percentage chance that it's tied, that we get exposure to some ghost runners. I don't know, I was asking for a tie a bit much with a minus 150 favorite on the dog on the board, perhaps. So again, I have a Met win. I'm a little bit light to get to this 4 plus 4 equals 8, but I just think the stylistics work against us here. I'd be very careful paying the juice for the Mets. I think, if anything, that's my stance, is the Mets price today is coming across as a bit of bad chalk. I think that I feel pretty strongly about, though I really think this overhits. I think there's a case for negative regression in the Peralta profile for as good as he's been with the outputs. I think there's a case for positive progression for the Detroit bats, though. Maybe they come out and let us down. One of those lefty sticks that we were backing. Kerry Carpenter is down, though. He really hasn't been good, even though he's always going to model very strongly against this type of player. Next up, Colin Rea and the Baby Bears on the bump, on the road, in the dirty to face Grant Holmes and the Fu Manchu Bravos minus 126. at the crib. The totals on this one threw me off a little bit, and then I ran the model, and that's where I was. And I was thinking, Colin Rea was so damn good, and that's kind of getting away from us a little bit. And I was thinking, isn't Grant Holmes like really great on a per inning basis? And that's getting away from us a little bit. Nothing atrocious. I mean, Holmes with the walk rate is scary with that amount of contact, but whenever you're going to allow free passes, you don't want so many balls in play. That's a quick way to get F'd in the A. Ray's been very good with the elevation stuff, but he is getting hit really hard. And I think the L30 stuff is also starting to spin, right? So you can see the L30, Grant Holmes with the 6 ERA, 1.5 whip, Ray with the nearly 1.5 whip, 13 KBB. Holmes is down in the single digits. Both of these guys are trending in the wrong direction, and these are both offenses that we really like, versus righties. Cubs have been one of the better offenses in the league. They've been patient and capitalizing. When they don't, it goes south. I'd like to see them step on the gas a little bit more, but if you're not going to chase and you're kind of identifying strikes and you're going to get barrels, we have to kind of deal with that. Braves have been good despite the, Acuna missing, which is always nice to see, although L7, maybe hold on, tell the editor back up and erase. And double that, erase that one. Idiot. I gotta get through it. I know. Great players expect to be booed when they don't produce. So I got to take that one to the chin, man. I feel like such a fucking idiot sometimes. Live TV is hard. Plus, there's a ton of fucking data, 15 games, and a legit solo, no producer here, nothing. So Braves have been terrible the last 7 days. I feel like a stunad. I thought they were hitting, and, again, this is always the great argument, right, between quants who always want bigger samples. I don't consider myself a quant. I'm not smart enough. I don't know. It's always been part of my charm, right? I mentioned yesterday I have half my fucking bridal party are convicted fucking felons, and the other half are, legit professionals, you know what I mean? Head of medical departments in major New York City hospitals, like legitimate professionals, legitimate, actual, salt of the earth fucking professionals. And it goes to show, I think I've always been very valuable. I was a street kid from Brooklyn. I ended up going to a specialized school up in Uptown Manhattan. And you want to be like that. So you want to be able to kind of relate to everybody. And the quants are always arguing for bigger samples, which are good, right? There's plenty of things that have proved to us that bigger samples are good. And then, there are people that are in the now, more hand in the dirt, right? That are saying, man, it's starting to, I'm pulling, maybe they pull the cord a little bit early, but it also avoids some of this stuff. So you could look at this Brave 7 and say they're entirely too good, right? If you look at the year-to-date stuff, I flip back over, one of the best offenses in the league. 346 WOBA is at tops in the league. It's number one in the league. They have the highest team WOBA in the league, which always has the strongest correlation to scoring runs. It is not at all a stretch to say the Braves are the best or arguably the best offense in the league. L7, are they the worst offense? All right, they're not the worst offense, but they're one of the worst offenses. 606 OPS, not just a 27K, but a 6 BB, right? So a 21 KBB for an offense with a 41 chase, this is insane. You are I'd almost wager you might never see that again for the rest of the season. A chase rate north of 41. Giants have something to say about that. They're a smidge under 41. Though Devers is starting to correct, and he's one of the main culprits. I think that's going to go south. Anyway, Braves right now are terrible. They're not pulling, they're not elevating, no barrels. So do you think they bounce back? And I think even the hand in the dirt people would agree they're going to bounce back. But in this thing of ours, it's all about timing. So 9 jillion freaking words or less. I'm really torn on this one. It feels fairly priced, I guess. If anything, maybe there's a little bit of value on the Cubs for all the uncertainty. But the Braves bullpen has been really good. And if it's tied late, I think the edge kind of swings wildly to them. I think I like the Cubs up front. The model is in an agreement. I've got the Cubs by a smidge, but whatever. I'm not even putting a show pick for this one. Who's next? Stephen Kolak and the Royals. They're on the road as minus 125 favorites against Eric Fettiwap and the Pale Hose. This one has a double wind emoji, which means, let me just confirm, because this is what I hate about weighing weather, because it's erratic, right? It's not constant. But I was getting the signal, and then the signal fell short, right? So we have warmer temps, it's in the 70s, and 20 miles an hour blowing out to left center. The second emoji means, sorry, I got derailed a little bit. Second emoji means I goosed the fucking model and we were still entirely too short. And when that also correlates with 18 or better, first emoji is like It's got to be 10 with direction, 11, 12. 18 or better is that second one. And blowing out, plus crappy pitchers. I don't believe in Kolek. Fetty Wap is really not any good. I know he's produced, but this is not going to last. Fetty fine, 379, 113, surface combo, ERA whip, not buying it. 23 CSW, 40 ball, 92 zone contact. With the wind, I think it's going to get yoked. Kolek, again, he was all right last time out. I'm never buying it. There's no swing and miss. He is legit a contact pitcher. And that's when I like these White Sox, right? If you're going to contact the Murakami, he's going to F you in the A. Same for all these guys. Colson recovery, all of them. That's like the MO of the entire White Sox offense. That's reflected in the last 2 weeks sample versus righties. Man, we're getting back on the fucking track, kid. All the power with the K's, but if he's not striking anybody out and you focusing on that pull power with all the barrels, White Sox, one of the better power teams against righties right now. Again, but they got to make contact to do it, and I think they're going to get it. Royals offense is back up off the mat. They're starting to get it done. We like them from a talent perspective, and both these offenses are looking pretty good right now. Really no need to worry. If you're over, the bullpens are a worry. White Sox have really I think it's overperforming, but at this point, right now, they're humming, and people are rested. That's when I tend to be reticent, right, tentative of looking for the reversal. So the White Sox are a perfect example of a team that bullpen is going to come back to earth, right? That's going to happen. I generally don't look for it to happen when everyone is rested, right? We look for that once they start to get muddied, and you blow one, then the order gets chopped up. This is what ends up happening, and I think why the Cook bullpen report is so impactful. Managers have done a pretty good job, I've noticed, again, they know the schedule of kind of unloading, using all their bullets before the day off. I'm trying to stay weary of that, because once you get the day off, it's almost like a full reset. If a guy had gone 3 in a row before that, maybe he'll get a day off, but everyone's pretty much available. So worth keeping an eye on. That said, again, there's so much weakness in the arm talent back there. If these guys struggling to get out early, I'm over it. I'm going to be honest. Maybe I didn't even guess this enough. I feel like maybe I didn't move something over. Sometimes, there's a lot of importing and exporting. No, that's what I got. Maybe with a second look. Maybe it's the bull, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just the bullpen's kind of keeping me below that 9.5. I would not be going under this one, though. I'm looking for, maybe this is a good hit run ribby spot where, it's a 9.5 total. You're not out of pocket looking for offense without being over, right? That's also something that happens. If we're looking for all this offense, shouldn't be over? Not necessarily, because that 9.5 is actually even money. And now, listen, if we bump that to 9, you see, with flatten out, we're right on the money, and all of a sudden we feel very good about the push with the ability to run out. I've got the Bobby Witt home run, by the way. Fetty must have again, I don't put up a lot of home runs. You know that. You know that. I don't really do that. But, Fetty's giving up tons of fly ball. All fly balls to righties are all pulled. He's given up 7 fucking dongs to right-hand hitters already. All right, let's move on. Next up, this one. This really hurt me. This hurt my feelings. My feelings are hurt. I don't want to talk about it. It's my model, and I'll cry if I want to. Damn it. That toilet flush is for my boy Yuri Perez, who I thought was just going to have the breakout campaign. I really did. I thought we were in that honeymoon phase and it was going to just take off. He's been terrible. The command and control we thought would return has not. The swing and miss is there, which is fine. But the control on the four-seamer has disappeared. And both of these guys, this is what I wanted to highlight, because is this another win game? Right, so Miami 102, slight dog on the road in Minnesota to face Bailey Ober, minus 112 at home. Another one, double emoji. Again, just looking for confirmation. Yeah, it's 19 miles an hour blowing straight out. With the 2 biggest pulled fly ball pitchers on the board today. Yuri Perez, 47 fly ball, 52 pull. Ober, 44 fly ball, 48 pull. They've given up 12 home runs between them. And it sucks, but you should get lots of scoring. Am I over on this fucking stupid one? At least we're a little bit over on this one. This one's set at 5 and 9. So it's the scoring bonanza. You know what I meant to check was the team totals on these. Again, similar to the Washington game, where you just never know if one team is going to have the 4.5. Royals do have the 4.5. White Sox also have a 5.5. The White Sox 4.5, is even money. Marlins are 4.5, even money. Twins are 4.5 plus 105. Some of, if not all of these, are going to hit. And, I lost it in the comments before. It was Jeff who had put the The doubles. Oh, okay, you had said Athletics and Cardinals. Nats Reds. So I'm definitely down on Nats Reds. I'm definitely down on Miami Minnesota. I think, Jeff, I like the Kansas City one. I think that's the other scoring game I'd be looking for. And I think, man, maybe we get the latter today. Although St. Louis and Athletics, I'm looking down the board, is also going to be fun. So look for scoring or nothing in this one. I wouldn't pay anything for anybody to win this because we have a lot less faith in the bullpens than we did in the one before. So if I had to pick one over, it's definitely this one because of the bullpens. The Minnesota bullpen is just so horrendous. Anytime they're out there for 9 frames, you got to feel really good about this one. I think I'm going to actually bet this 9. And then let's move it on, yo. Matty Waldron on the bump for the Padres. They're 109 underdogs heading down to Cheesetown to face Brandon Sproat and the Beer Makers. This feels like a misprice to the Brewers side. I was high on Sproat and down on Waldron. Now, Sproat's overall numbers are pretty gross. I feel like he's corrected course of late, and he has, where Waldron is really struggling with that knuckleball. When that pitch is not dancing, like, he's going to be trash. Also, Milwaukee offense is rocking and or rolling since they brought back their big pieces. I know this L7 also, it's the second time, man, where it's the second time I did the wrong fucking thing. I think, if anything, I feel less about taking L's in my anecdotes as I do like not caring as much about L7. You know, you face a really great bullpen for a week and the numbers are going to kind of look shitty. But I thought since Churio had returned, they had been a lot better. Last 2 weeks overall, it's pretty good. I do think they'll be better with all their pieces, but, you know, to be fair, if we were doing 2-week V righties, they must be hurting lefties because, you know, the righty splits is just meh. It's a lot of Brewer stuff. I mean, they're hitting for average, and we like that, right? So they should be fine. And the disciplinary stuff is good. So as long as that's in check against Waldron and you're putting the ball in play, I think you can have a shot. You know, the X-Wob is strong, the X-Con is above average, but Brewers offense definitely not as strong as I thought. Like when I flopped, right? When I thought I was turning over my cards, wasn't as good as I thought. That bullpen is awesome, though. So is the Padres. It just might not matter. Especially if it's only minus 130, I think. Okay, two notes here. So, number one, Brewers are minus 130, and that's my show pick. I think I'm going to bet that one outright. Second point is, I wonder if anybody had picked up on this. And this is something you'd be able to look at just the algo drop, because the team totals are there and the prices, or at least the opening prices are there. So this is one of those games where we have a 4.5 and a 3.5, right? Black box, orange box, and it's a minus 130 or better. Those almost always feel like a smash. All right, let's move it on. I'm going to try and giddy up down the gate here. Zach Gallen is on the hill for the Sneaks with shapes in their back, plus 113 underdog. Out in Texas, against Mackenzie Gore, this is another one that fits that same template or parameter criteria. Gallen's been bad, and the Diamondbacks refuse to hit. Now, Mackenzie Gore is definitely up and down. I think the underpinning stuff is better than it's let on. You know, the indicators are much stronger than a shitty +5 ERA or whatever. Now, as of late, it's been really bad, and that's when I tend to worry. When a good pitcher is really bad, I think there's only two pathways. He's hurt, and we're going to get an IL stint, or he's going to rise like the fucking mighty Phoenix. If there is a saving grace here, Mackenzie's been much, much, much better in his own building. All right, so maybe you show up to the guy's crib and the lawn is mowed. Remember that shit? That was the original Corked Stats. Lawn is mowed, garbage taken out. My boy does work at the crib. So I think this price is a little short. Diamondbacks, they've hit for average against lefties, but overall they've been whack. And if you're going to chase and swing and miss, put the ball on the ground, I think you're in trouble for a score. That's not the way to get there. Whereas, you know, Texas v. righties has been, I think, better than people expected. The BABIP is low, which has suppressed some output, but they're hitting the ball hard, and the 338 xWOBA is a pretty decent implication. Last 7, same kind of up and down. They're not a solid offense, so I don't think they're ever going to sun run. But this is good enough to back with a really, or at least a pretty strong pitching edge, and the Texas bullpen's been pretty good all season. So I could have just said I need a name for that, right? The 3.5, the old 3.5, 4.5, the old 5.2 skidoo. Where, yeah, give me Texas to win. I think that's in. Man, how do I put this? Like, that's in the book, right? That's in the book. Like not saying it right. The sports book agrees, right? Let me see if I can quantify these totals before I look like a fucking asshole for the 19th time today. Okay, yeah, I mean, for sure, because, maybe not. I didn't see the Texas price is plus 120, not minus 120. Diamondbacks are minus 125. Texas is plus 120. So if they were 3.5, that would be juiced, and maybe this isn't as strong a signal as the one before. That said, I know the model is not crazy about it, but I really think we get a win. I have not been a believer in the Diamondbacks bullpen whatsoever, and as they start, right, this is what I was talking about, when things kind of return to earth with the White Sox, once it starts to, like, the bolts are starting to shake on the tire, I think the whole thing is about to fucking pop off. Next up. It's the Nature Boy, Brian Wu, on the bump for the Mariners. They're on the road against Tatsuya Imai and the Astros. This one, clean Mariners win. Just give me all the Mariners stuff. I'm getting off the fucking Astros. Again, this was a perfect example of they're the best right-hand hitting team, blah, blah, blah. And the last 7, they're like the worst fucking offense in the league. And you watch them, you're like, I can't bet on this team right now. They're just terrible. If Jordan Alvarez, and that was like the big part of it. He was a one-man wrecking crew to start the year, and then everything looks peachy. And when he goes in the tank at least a little bit, they're not really there to pick him up. They've been gross. I'm not buying this fucking Astros offense right now. Even the L14 is really starting to show major warts. Seattle versus righties. I mean, Cal Raleigh needs to get it going, but J-Ram is fucking hot to trot right now. So if you're pulling these fly balls against Imai, who I don't like Imai in the first place, and he's coming back from injury or delay, regardless demotion, I think he sucks. For all the L's I take, let me take a freaking dub here or there. You know what I'm saying? We were on that. Bing! Let's go. That one actually worked. All right, let's go. I didn't think that profile was going to translate with the move from that was Japan to Korea. I just wasn't buying it. If you were telling me you thought maybe Houston was going to fix him, I would have said fine. But in fantasy, if you were paying the late premium, I think that was still a mistake because it was too much uncertainty. And you kind of got the worst case scenario. So Mariners should shove. Even the bullpen has been much better. I mean, Munoz was only a matter of time before he corrected course. So again, I've got a clean win. The minus 150 is a little heavy. We're bordering on a pretty obvious DDP, right? And it's gross as could be. It's gross as could be. Gross as could be. But in the cases where you like the win and maybe don't like the run line, maybe even mixing the Pirates in this bitch. We think the Phillies win. We think the Pirates kill. We don't want to pay for any of this shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to pay for any of it. What was the other one? It was the fucking Yankees. But I'll tell you, Rogers, even though it's a return, he does not fit as cleanly into that bin, right? You can't tell me you feel as strong going up against Rogers. So maybe then you just pairing it. Maybe, and the Mariners was the third one, right? So you could go, maybe even if you isolated the Pirates because you don't want to pair run lines because that's ridiculous. Phillies plus Mariners is a plus 185 chalk donkey pairing, and hopefully that cost me at least another 2 followers. Next up. Scoring or nothing, don't even fucking cap this bullshit. These games in Sacramento are going to start getting crazy. I think the only question mark is, will the real Jeffrey Springs please stand up? Now, I know I was fading the shit out of him last year, but if you were really following closely, it was more than anything at home. The reason being, Springs throws 91, throws his four-seamer over 40% of the time, and works up in the zone. So if you're good at kind of getting guys under it and all that shit, that's fine. But the contact with the barrels is eventually going to punish you in optimal hitting scenarios. So I think eventually he's going to get punished. I'm scrolling around for his splits right now. And Springs, 487 ERA at home and a 3 ERA in the road. And I think that is the explanation. So I'm kind of looking at road Springs, right? Poland Springs on the road. And then Palante, this is a nightmare scenario for him. A contact pitcher with no Ks, against a team that strokes. Now, the last 2 weeks for the A's have been pretty rough. Last 7, they're starting to get the power back a little bit. I tend to think from a skills perspective, this team is dangerous any game, but they definitely get my attention when they're at home. Jason924, my boy, put including Mets Tigers into both teams to score 2. Ooh, both teams to score 2. Yeah. I'll buy that. Both teams to score. I love how you're you don't normally think that. Most people think it's 3 or 4 or 5, and you're just remember, prices have to be calculated, right? So how could you pay minus 400? Well, if you think the fair price should be minus 800, then minus 400 is a value. I think they both get the 2. I think Peralta gives up 2. I think the Mets are gonna fucking lose. I always think the Mets are gonna lose now. But anyway. So Palante and Springs should be a shootout. I'd imagine if you're looking at DK, it's the favorite for highest scoring game. Worth taking a look at the team totals as always. Cardinals at 4.5, minus 110. Just by the model, you'd have to say that's a hit. You've got to like something to do with the Cardinals. We have a model closer to 5. They get the 9 frames. You get Springs at home where he's a little bit weaker. And if I'm not mistaken, I thought, again, I'm a total dunce, huh? I thought Cardinals lefties were strong. Maybe I was mistaken. Okay, so this was the reading that I saw. The Cardinals' output has not been great, right? I can't paper that over. However, it's just 400 plate appearances with a really low BABIP has stunted them. The plate approach is good. They're hitting the ball hard. And a 335 xWOBA with a walk rate a shade under 10 is screaming positive regression. Remember, you can have a spiked xWOBA based on walk rate. Generally, the walk rate's going to have to be higher to spike it like that. You see the hard hit rate. Is it the highest in the league? No, it's not. It's like top 3. I think it's 4th. I'm sorry. I think it's 4th in the league. So Cardinals have the 4th best hard hit rate against lefties on the season. xWOBA kind of yelling for some positive regression. Like I said, I hope I'm not like papering over this because they've been dog shit the last 7 days. So maybe this is just reality crashing down for the Cardinals. Jason said 2-team parlay kind of day. Yeah, I think I'm into that. I'm with you. Oh, that was Carolina. But again, I just love it. I love the interaction. I was able to find the live chat. You said I'm so old. I can't always find it. It must be like how you click through. Like if you find it video on a For You is different than if you click through and click on the live page or on the home. It really is. Everything's a little bit different. It's just a formatting thing. But there's a lot of goodness in these live chats. And while you're over there, press the fucking like button because that shit matters more than it should. Support good people doing good work. Thank you. All right, last but not least, we're going to get out of here right under the hour mark. Hard to be as good as we are, as detailed as we are, cover all the stuff that we do. 15 games and, get out of here in under an hour. I really like to think that some people leave this show every day going, what the fuck is wrong with this kid? Word. Yo, I listen back. And I hope that doesn't sound selfish. I listen back for a lot of production stuff. I like to make sure levels are good and it sounds good. And again, that's when I kill the line shopping. As important as it is that we are using the best lines, that we can't be fishing around. That's stupid. That time could be better used. Like breaking down games. Adrian Hauser on the bump for the San Francisco Treats. Gigante's on the road against LA to face the Trolley Dodgers. I'm not going to do what everyone thinks I'm going to do and fucking freak out. Combine fucking 4 in the toilet. Although, I think it's like 6 units total. Like, so if you have like hundreds of bets and you're down 6 units, that could obviously change in a fucking day, right? Literally 1 day or 2 days. So I'm trying not to beat myself up, but I can't get live. I just can't get live. I thought we had it yesterday. We closed out the 10-day session week, and I just didn't get there. If anyone's unfamiliar, let's break down this game really quick. I think the only question in this one is how expensive is the Dodger run line? It's minus 145, a shade more expensive than Pittsburgh. These minus 300s are a fucking nightmare. And again, it's because you're not going to find it in the stats. Hauser has a 6 ERA. Yamamoto is like a Cy Young contender. The Giants offense is awful. Starting to hit for some power last couple days. Rafael Devers is up off the mat. Is it enough to get through Yamamoto and that bullpen? When the Giants bullpen is one of the worst in the league. Last 46 and 2/3, they have a 5 ERA and a 1.7 whip. 277 BA allowed. God. 3% more walks than Ks with a 90% zone contact. I mean, how could you have a negative 3% KBB as a bullpen? I don't give a shit if it's a 2-day fucking sample. I don't give a shit if it's an 8-day sample. 47 innings. This is just atrocious. So yes, the answer is Dodgers run line, and I feel like a fucking donkey piece of shit on my way out the door. Baseball's version of 300. Give the book nothing. Taping that bitch everything. It ain't madness, baby.
This is Sparta!
So, yeah. Here we go. That'll do it for the big show. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Please press the like button. That shit matters more than it should. Let me give out one little goodie for anybody that made it to the end of the show. Here are the home run picks. If they all hit, we're talking generational wealth, and then we're going to get out of here. I have Mike Trout to dong off Slade Ciccone, JJ Bleday to homer off Miles Mikolas, Brandon Lowe to homer off Lorenzen, Vientos off Flaherty, Liam Hicks off Ober, with Buxton off Perez, Bobby Witt off Eric Fetty. So what I never, is that's 7 home runs. I don't know if I've ever had 7 home runs on a single day, but like I said, maybe generational wealth. I think I played them for $1 and it was like 65K. So like, fingers crossed. Let's get out of here, yo. Thanks for picking up what we're putting down here at Corked Stats. Keep an eye out for the NFL baseball stuff. There's NFL data and ranks, uploadable baseball ranks with all the baseball stuff. It never stops, hot and heavy. Gonna save you $2 worth of fucking time a week. Support good people doing good work. Pretty please. Enjoy the games, enjoy the day. When we done with the book, enjoy the pay. And remember, when you work this freaking hard, man, the winning feels a lot less like luck, yo. Peace out.